Hi guys! Currently, almost all popular websites and applications have the ability for users to use dark mode instead of light mode. But do you think implementing this feature in the front-end section is very difficult? Today, we are going to easily add the dark mode feature to a website page together and see how easy it's to have this feature for all our websites. Of course, I should mention that there are many different ways to create dark mode. For this reason, I went for one of the easiest methods so that we can easily add this feature to a website. If you agree, let's go into the code. To start, we go to an HTML file. We will enter the initial codes and add a style.css file to our code. Now, it's time to put some initial codes for better display. We enter an h1 tag with the text, for example, dark mode toggle button with HTML CSS and JavaScript, and add a paragraph of lorem. Our work is almost done here, and we'll create the style.css file. For setting the initial margin and padding to 0, we consider it for the start. We also give an initial setting to the body tag, such as background and simple padding, for example. Now we choose a desired color for h1 and I choose black. We do the same for paragraph tag. Now we go back to the HTML page and add a button to the top of the page. We'll need this button to switch from dark mode to light mode. We go to the style.css and we'll develop some initial setting for it to look better. So far, we have created a very simple web page together. Now it's time to put the desired change into the code. To start, we need to turn all the colors we developed into variables. So we add a root selector and set our desired color variable inside it. Keep in mind that root can be useful for declaring global CSS variables. Now, wherever we have color codes in our code, we change them to the variables. For example, we change the black color code to the -- color variable. Finally, in the CSS section, we need to create a new class for ourselves called body.dark, which is actually a dark class for the body tag. In this section, we will develop any colors we have in mind for dark mode, just like in the root section with variables. Now, if we go to the index.html page and the dark class to the body, you will see that the page is set to dark mode. Finally, we need to do this last part together. We will write codes that give us the ability to change the page theme to dark mode by clicking on a button. We will create a script.js file and add it to the index.html page. To start, we consider dark mode inactive. We check local storage to see what the last setting was for the user. If the last setting for the user was true, we set the isDark variable to false and call a function called setDarkTheme. Now, what does this function do? It adds a dark class to our page's body. So we need an opposite function for this, which we named setLightTheme, and it removes the dark class for the body tag. For the next part, we need to write an action for clicking on the button so that we can see the change when clicked. For initial checking, we check if the isDark variable is true, so we will do something, and if not, we call the setDarkTheme function. and change the dark variable to true. But if its dark is true, we call the setLifeFem function. The only part left of this code is that when the page is refreshed, we can save the user's last state and display the site in our user last settings. For this purpose, I turned to local storage. We define a function and say that if the enter comment was deleted, then it should delete our dark mode variable. And if the comment was add, then it should add dark mode to local storage. Now, we have the last theme that the user selected. And every time we visit, we know what the last section was. Of course, for larger projects, we do this setting through databases. Now we can see what we developed. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for even more amazing future projects. Thank you so much. Have a good day.